Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yamunatira Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Gopinath ki, Jagannath Sudha ki, Shugornitai ki, Shukanta Bhagavan ki, Lakshmi Singha Bhagavan ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. We'll be taking today's text every Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 12, entitled Devotional Service, text number 13 to 14. Chapter 12, text 13 to 14. Sanskrit recited. Invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyanam Trimanandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshom Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Hyamdadati Swapadatikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadhutam Savadutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saguna Lita Shiv Shakam Tamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Rasha Kanta Namusute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakarpata Rubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Granthara Srimad Bhagavd Gita as it is key. Srila Prabhupada key. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is chapter 12, text number 13 to 14, entitled Devotional Service. Sanskrit recitation. Advesta sarva bhutanam Maitraya karuna evacha Nirmamo nirahankara Samadhuka sukhaksami Advesta sarva bhutanam Sanstusta satatam yogi Yatatma drita nischaya Mai arpita manobodhir Yo mad bhakta same priya Dvesta sarva bhutanam Advaita sarva bhutanam Maitra karuna evacha Nirmamo nirahankara Samadhuka sukhaksami Santusta satatam yogi Yatatma drida nischaya Mayarpi manobhudir Yomad bhakta sami priya Advesta sarva bhutanam Maitra karuna evacha Nirimamo nirahankara Samadhuka sukhaksami Santastuta satatam yogi Yatatma drida nischaya Mayarpita manobhudir Yomar bhakta samapriya. Word for translation. Advesta, non-envious. Sarva bhutanam, toward all living entities. Maitra, friendly. Karuna, kindly. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Nirmamaha, with no sense of proprietorship. Nirahankara, without false ego. Sama, equal. Dukkha, and distress. Sukha, and happiness. Sami, forgiving. Santustaha, satisfied. Satatam, always. Yogi, one engaged in devotion. Yata Atma, self-controlled. Reda Nishchaya, with determination. Mai, upon me. Arpita, engaged. Manaha, mind. Buddhi, and intelligence. Yaha, one who. Mat Bhaktaha, my devotee. Saha, he. Me, to me. Priyaha, dear. Translation and purport by Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Please, if you could repeat. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Purport. Coming again to the point of pure devotional service, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualifications of a pure devotee in these two verses. A pure devotee is never disturbed by any circumstances, nor is he envious of anyone, nor does a devotee become his enemy's enemy. He thinks, this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than to protest. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 8, they stated, Tatste nukampam su samiksa mano bhujana evatma kritam vipakam. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far. Okay. He thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. Thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far greater than I am suffering now. So it is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that I am not getting all the punishments I am due. I am just getting a little by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is always calm, quiet, and patient, despite many distressful conditions. A devotee is also always kind, is always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirimana means that a devotee does not attach much importance to the pains and troubles pertaining to the body, because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. He does not identify with the body, therefore he is freed from the conception of false ego and is equipoised in happiness and distress. He is tolerant and he is satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of the Supreme Lord. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty, therefore he is always joyful. He is completely perfect mystic because he is fixed in the instructions received from the spiritual master. Because his senses are controlled, he is determined. He is not swayed by false arguments, because no one can lead him from the fixed determination of devotional service. He is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him. All these qualifications enable him to fix his mind and intelligence entirely on the Supreme Lord. Such a standard of devotional service is undoubtedly very rare, but a devotee becomes situated in that stage by following the regulatory principles of devotional service. Furthermore, the Lord says that such a devotee is very dear to him, for the Lord is always pleased with all his activities in full Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnu Vaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutala Shri Bhakti Devi Namam Shri Krishna Guru Gaya Mukam Karoti Vacham Pankina Gaya Kripatam Monday Shri Guru. Okay. In fact, the translation again. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities. So, they say the original disease, the original problem, which a my basa see so and I am my sofa. The first original problem is envy. Envy is one quality beer and idea it is very dangerous. Just as the term I can't say more I say Hawaii. Hawaii just saying. Hawaii pains, you are feeling bodily pains. And Hawaii doesn't hurt anybody, but it burns, it causes us to get suffering, like so much suffering that we tend to burn ourselves within. So envy is the opposite of love or compassion. And so Krishna Chema say, one who is not envious but kind to all living entities. So it means one who is not kind to living entities is what's envious. And the material world is such a way that all of us are envious. One time somebody asked me a question that he doesn't understand. Once he said, why is it that in this world he is always trying to help others? Since day one, he's been very good, loyal friend, loyal in relationships and everything. But at the long run, people treat him with bad, reciprocation. Or bet me I German for like pour out his heart to help others and all that. But at the end, they treat him or they reciprocate with envy. So he was frustrated at what is this? What is this issue? Like, what should I even do with my life? Because it seems like any kind of a boy and any kind of papa. Because we be a mattress man papa be the body nature maker. So I told him that is what we should expect. I don't know what I say expect it. Because in the material world, all of us are envious beings. And we are trying to transform that envy to compassion or transforming that envy to love. And in that transition period, we still have certain small drops of envy within our hearts. And it is normal that we feel that the people are reciprocating in that envious nature. In the Bible, what was the first thing? Mostly I can say Adam and Eve story, Adam kofa apple no near there. But the first problem was not the apple. People blame the apple, say, I don't know, Adam acquired apple, no near there. But the problem was not the apple. The first disease, the first problem was envy. The envy was represented by what? The serpent. Now, a friend of Bonsam. Into all these negative qualities, envy, lust, greed, are personified, or to be our they have forms. And sometimes when envious, these beings are they carry this envious energy comes close to us, we begin to intensify an envious nature. We can get the picture. And see, envy is something say we can serve, we basically serve Krishna with everything. We basically serve Krishna with greed, and I do kind of saying, be a greedy, be a do fruit. Basically that serve it coupon. Why? Because with greed patches say, say, whatever time, whatever everything that I have is not enough. I want to use everything to serve God. So we can even serve God with greed. We can serve God with anger. We hear even in the Bible when Jesus Christ call sorry them who say or church or the before say answer now about now goof. Or the before na a deep call for now came so. No, the same thing Arjuna, this Bhagavd Gita, Arjuna who's a battlefield. You cannot fight in a battlefield if there is no anger. Like in the war field. So we need a before. It's waiting the before Christ serve Krishna. But one thing that you cannot use to serve Krishna or to serve God is envy. Because envy is something which is kind of saying it burns us from within. It's the Krishna said, one who is not envious but kind to all living beings. Last time now your radio station people say another na makwanyam a coincidence. I don't know memanyam a na kokona ayi wa doresa ade na mekukuna was ma menkunu. Envy na can be no because of his akokona wa dore no. The so fast one I say was a yet me menum and the me catera mantina or sacopono. Like the so fast one year I was a merino. But that is not the point. Envy patch say everything that I'm doing, everything that I see, everything is meant for my enjoyment. And what an envious person does is say, so what do you call baby? And how many baby are? If he doesn't see himself within that thing is useless. So why be business when who idea no benye free mu na say ade no ensom na enya he's not going to be on top of it. He's going to classify that thing as useless. And that is the original problem, that we want to lord it over the material nature. Everybody wants to be Prabhu, like Maharaj was saying the other time, that there are only two Prabhus, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Actually, like I said, Prabhu is meant for God. He is the Supreme Master, Ishvara Paramaha Krishna. But then sometimes all of us, we want to be masters, we want to be Prabhus. We want to have many servants, we want to control others' life. We want to, that should be the final decisions. But the point is, before you try to control others, you have to be able to control yourself. You yourself, you are boiling with anger. You are boiling with envy. So how can you control others with envy? How can you control others with anger? Like Christopher Columbus, he said, well, to me, he was so mighty, said he conquered the whole world and he went to Africa, came here, went to all these places and conquered. But we hear in the Bible, what profit a man if he conquers the whole world, but what loses his very own soul? And what is the point of gaining everything in the world if we don't have that self-discipline, self-transformation? So Krishna is saying that one who is not envious but kind to all living entities. You can only be kind to others if you are kind to yourself. One who is envious is not kind to himself. So you can say, you are causing pain to yourself. So is that kindness to the self? No. So envy is violence to ourselves, and that violence we cause to ourselves, affecting people. We tend to cause distractions with such envies. And so Krishna said, one who is not envious but kind to all living entities. We should have that kindness, that compassion. Another Bible reference will say, blessed are those who are meek, for they shall inherit the earth. In Sri Lanka, one now, more meekness, they are kind, or more kumapa. Indeed, anybody who is not kind, you don't deserve to stay here. Because we always, we have songs, musicians, creating songs of peace, especially when we do election and peace, but then collective peace will only come when you have peace of mind. Individually, every living entity should have that peace of mind. And that peace of mind will only come about when we become non-envious. Because if you are envious, we can never be peaceful. And Krishna goes to say, who does not think himself the proprietor and is free from false ego? False ego, Pacha say, Bibiano, our semi, Memang, and Wendy. Say no, Macan, Nakokono, the young man, and some fast one is saying. And see, Akokono barriers, no fast would be none, say, or say, Aquasiata Barreno. This Aquasiata and Pananga and Quine, the Aquani useless. I mean, this is foolish thoughts, doesn't make sense. But for most people, that is their philosophy. And only on my green say, I could call Koto Shishrada Gopina Koto no name the baby now, a point, name the baby. No, I said, young found point, young pine, a point, some person. I mean, we have that mentality of trying to control others' lives, to trying to impose young kasa, desires, or our desire to lord over that mastership consciousness, over the lives of others. But that is a problem. And see, you say false ego. False ego means that there is original ego. Original goal is every living entity, yeah, we have that pride. Originally, Kupa say pride, your sa, a homasono. Generally, as a homason, you be a woman who should be ano, I mean, Yakupon Brenner say. By our homaso pabi, a homaso pane say, when him say, unne Yankopon sonfo. Na unkwanning now, when you be as in Yakopon. Say a reable, say a dear besound, Yankopon or bankers, Yankopon will be our criminal. In the only your pride, when you put time at the bottom or training, say, I get the young him. That is our pride. And that is pure pride. That is real ego, knowing that we are part and parcel of Krishna. But false ego is the opposite. Don't we think that Krishna is actually our part? In the Krishna, even we use that consciousness, quite sorry, dear man. Yeah, let's Yankopon, me pe car, me pe ba, me pe kuno, me pe. And I know me can't send me penta for no same as some agony. Kamenya, come first born your bema, bouncing baby boy. Like a second in your bar, near money list. Near as I can say, me this 20 Ghana cities you mount, say, me the year, what kind of confidence? Say, me the year and see a name will say, Jinaso. Na mame and ye oba na akra. Na mame kunupa, na mame say, a business. This is not devotion. Like there is no devotion in this activity. It is pure business. And we are engaging with Krishna in the mood of business. Buying and selling as investments. But with 20 cities, you know, that 20 cities. What is 20 cities to God? And I always say, misfortune is when our Father is Krishna and has everything, yet we are still suffering. Say, you're running Yankupon, on a bibia, one a bibia, and a dear. Na ye brewasa so. Suffering is not natural. The soul's original constituents, they say, the soul is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. The suffering is not a natural activity of the soul. That is why any of us in the material world, every one of us, we don't like to suffer. Obi ambaso bebre. Obo asho be say na asimezi don pebre crowd. Na why na pebre? Because why you hard work now, it doesn't mean say you are successful. We're not saying hard work is not good, but we're trying to give us that consciousness. Nobody actually wants to suffer in the material world. Nobody wants to go through pain. But then the system is so arranged. Say Bhagavd Gita can say or say padam whatever step that we make in this material world, there is danger. At every particular step, there is danger. Into where is the security? That we want to lord it over. We want to claim proprietorship of everything. And if you want to control others, I say, first control your senses. One who has controlled the senses can control everything within the universe. But the one can say, if you're not able to control your desires, if you're not going to be able to control your mind, if you're not able to control your senses, the demands, the dictations of your senses, then what qualification can you have or do you have to control the lives of others? So Krishna went on to say that who is equal to both happiness and distress? Dear Edru Mra and Mra da and Sana Tibia and Nina so on. Most of us we go through difficulties because we deserve it. You move our hearts and can young here and a baby near pe and I said, Yakase, the Biamacase Case here, here doing this car. Any do here, baby. In the Abanya Coupon, you hear babies in the Abanya Coupon. And yes, I do a palm here as soon as you are. I can wear anything come from the Biafra. In the most of us, we are our consciousness is that we need something. But then as soon as we get what we need, there was one program, the Mumbusa guy be saying, no, pass or small pond. Graduating because I know whatever lesson that he has to learn in life, he has gotten those lessons into our home. He is now a graduate of spirituality and now of Yamason. But I mean, until we can say we are graduates, we still have lessons to learn. And just like the seasons, Bhagavd Gita Chemo says, Senya awo eba na enyuno eba, senya ewia ebo na adie enso sano. Sanso na enijie eni awerho ebeba na akọ. Obi enu na ni bejia for the rest of his life. And now obi anso ni ho a ne rebehoa for the rest of his life. Especially middle planetary system, we have a bull mandala. Yes, 14 planetary systems, 7 higher planets, and then 6 higher, and then 1 middle planetary system, and I was 6 lower planetary systems. In the year one, in the middle planetary systems, you know, we are having the mood of shuka duka, happiness and distress. When you kakra, now real kakra, no asere kakra, no kakra. That is the nature of this particular earth that we are living in. You see a 50-50. You see it's the world of dualities. And there is never a time where somebody is going to cry for the rest of his life. And there will never be a time where somebody is going to be happy for the rest of his life. And as soon as we need you know, can who is a rebel circle. And as soon as our real ones can who is a Nijibus to win my eba. And anybody who has that knowledge, you know, say Nijane bar on him. Say I reckon so bar on him because we're sending you a fata se was eba. But Pempin and I agree, say, so being am sumnia, and you can say, and social tono, and now upon him. But material word is an creating. And even if there we are continue crown, once you come to this material, that suffering and quantity any never found. I used to mention it's like higher that's the cool. You're sharing 33 marketplaces. Then why because was saying Yanko Pon in a bank, I say, Nakuma ni baby out that 2 or so was me. And yes, it will be be at Temano before be at you. So I didn't how many Yanko no can't and some pacam and some panel. I chapel for instance. Yes, sure. The same thing Jesus Christ or by Ebony. But Omi and I are what for. In the DNA, they have to go through these difficulties because that is the nature of the material world. Material world is not a place for gentlemen. And if the gentlemen or these pure devotees even come from the spiritual world down here, because they are surrounded by envious, uncivilized people, you know, they have to go through difficulties, unnecessary difficulties. And see, Krishna is advising that we should be equal to through the happiness and the distress. Because according to we are to the beer, untime blame say we are no ember, we are the whole room. But you say you add to no, you say you was on the air than. You say what didn't chi, and I share we are not we are no. The moment of us in the name of we are no, you was a high about a bubble. And we don't blame Krishna saying Yanko Pong and a small bar of I didn't tell me how to me. Then the way you go here. What the way chi Yanko Pong, then here was showing back. And you see the Lord, you see that light, that success, that feeling of having that intimate connection with the Supreme. So we should be happy in the distress and be happy in the suffering. We should be equipoised what you say, yenye stable. Obuaha is a cabban butuma pantama kusiwachi. We say yes, a brandy and more you do. Muhunwahana, we better for Babeshiano. Once the scanning says, no, I am mobile. Why? Because there is no regulation. But human life is a life meant for regulation. So Krishna continues to say, who is tolerant and always satisfied? Tolerance. Ade bakwa imbebre no yenni abotre. China for hours, I must say 1 minute of tolerance can save 100 years in jail. Sima ba ko pe a obenya abotre ne betimi aboa mo atimi avoid 100 years lifetime. Your story be na abobo ya driver bi no mo or traffic mu na o konti by mistake and abobo ya driver de ne abobo ya na kopem car bi. Nto do kopem car no na mame bi na de otwi car no sifike mu. No cousin, I didn't know why. I know the car, no body, what do a Pragiana bomb in a car will bet me at all. We are Juma for a brother in our crana, was a carway, went to be there. Did know I know? And Babu in the car say, Abu in the car, Mamma, but today, Nakano Crano, may you a year scratch. A chunka crave, into Yabotre, Fen Mamma, who you know you did not tell. I want not to say, no one of Sumba. But a hornos a overpass, a overhead. Into a bonus, no one Bema, or no good Shabuya, no. Why confused one on them? Into a mission of some say, no, and war no. Into our pushing no or falling off the bridge. No, mamma, team. I feel mamma talk from ye. Yea. Uniana, no, why you know. Why, I mean too much, no. Who said, na Brabono, a berry. Jenny, I tell you, Jenny is your face, a story with. Omumi and Nina, Uncle, Mumba, and you move back, and your patra, a casa, when she way yamba. Or bar no idea, they were training crap. Bear man, so life, I say, for the rest of life, what will be what you be crap finish them. To Bacodi and Boko Fiasi. And the 1 minute of tolerance can save 100 years in jail. But then we don't have that spirit of tolerance. Ye one pie crana, ye, as ye senior coupon say, I was a ban nenechna. The amba and you winning yame. We cannot tolerate even the time that God has given to bring success in our lives. We don't have time for God. God is time. But how practical do we understand this? And always satisfied. You need sort you cry. Just this morning, we frame me. I think after our radio program, the numbers are followed. I say, what the can say na some no ati say so ba ubanyeska pa ubetimi ubanyeska. And I'm say there be. And yes, if you are by, I say, China, obey it is a billionaire, and this are. But the principles of Krishna consciousness, no, so what dim Ranoswa, Sik be a boa combia and a besudi. I don't know for whom visa Krishna ways it could do for. But and yes, it's but if you follow the principles which are laid down by God in the Bhagavd Gita, National Popa Diamana. So once the crown of Benya, I get 1 billion amount, which me dinner amount hot satisfaction. It's proper, I said, devote his motto and simple living, high thinking. Because the Ukraine, we have that brain power, say, we can live simply and still be satisfied. We don't over endeavor. Dem and broso. Here, na esefata. And also now, dears, me at 18, I said, in your person, you give you money broso. I did be a broso beyond so idea, how never. So, devotee should be one who is satisfied, who is self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. Dreta vrata. Determination. Most of us, we don't have the determination. The person means we need I can't say, how do we even say determination? And rent house one, we don't have it. Work at Crabia, I made my bread. No, dear Benjamin, no master, I don't want to end that. Menkwana, Miss Miami, oh, my dear. I think, I'm assuming they didn't say, Madame Abre. Dhruva Maharaj, the Prahlad Maharaj told me, can you determination? Ubia, ne papa, and yet he was the demon, he was so demonic, say, as he said. And I can ship work pardon here to say, I in the dream car. On Pejan is our pardon here, chicken and them goes to Ghana. He was extremely powerful. Or Tati on one about Prahlad, you try several means to become Prahlad. But Prahlad had that determination, that faith that Krishna, Lord and Shingadev, will always protect. Determination will only come when we have knowledge. And when we have knowledge, that knowledge will give us the faith and determination to jump over all the hurdles or all the difficulties in our life or in our path of devotional service. We should pray for these things. Your bomb pie, son of money, say me determination, say it's me self-control, say it's me I equal to happiness and distress. Say with me edgy and my sword any or tiny free accumum. These are the things that we should be praying for. And your pound no, daily bread no. Pound would be bread in at all. You met him constipation. We are meeting one over yare. And that is what we are doing. Yes, I had bro. So we will take. Yes, I guess pan in ye. Now we are way. And see, the funny thing is, after I say material, your full material things na. Yes, we am saying tea bread is not me met him. Next time, in the tea bread, maybe wheat bread. No, as I was there be wheat bread, yeah. Be aware no cake bread. But when we say a cake, say a wheat, say a dim, pan on, and a may met him. And see, once we are yearning for material things, but it doesn't matter whatever variety or whatever flavor it comes in, it's still going to give us frustration. So Krishna is saying that we should be self-satisfied, we should have determination, and his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Or then I dream in the nyansa, maybe be a seat in a couple and in a proper creative society way, proper nyansa mono. And in the Mobro, who was an international society for the in case, Krishna consciousness. But she agreed to be a question of proposal. And I assume who are a business and said, you can see a train agreement in your coupons. There's also a question is why you don't bring your coupon and sign somewhere one. Now, all your high Krishna in name. And I say ISKCON, ISKCON, ISK no, and that's CON. Promise and put on my very nice promise and put a proposal. I say ISK is your Krishna consciousness on, or is your Krishna consciousness off? Is you can be in ISKCON, not ISKCON. And if you are in ISKCON, it means your Krishna consciousness, your KC should be on. Or I say, why going to be and why going to sharp the question of counsel. And how do you do that? By engaging in devotional service. So what do I want to do? Basunyame, what do I green basunyame? What do I come up to us? Basunyame, what do we need about the deities? What do I hear all this aromatic incense and the flowers which has been offered to the Lord? What do I soon be seeing Yanko Ponsam and Yantena? Boa, I know Papa. I don't know, it's a Casbon or sports. Obey, yes, so of course, right there, one you preach, yeah, bears 15 minutes in the Puma, that's now what Tom Cosa. Obey me in your son, it's yes, sports, no, Madrid, see, bet me it's here for bears 1 hour 30 minutes. The name Pum. And so, or far trust them, no, any sign because of interest in the home. And so we should have this interest, this yearning to have that feeling that we want to serve Krishna. And Krishna will always reciprocate. So this is what Srila Prabhupada and Krishna is giving us this evening. See, the Anubisi has said, Obo Asembusa, and that's a comment. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any question or comments, please feel free to ask. Okay, so in the absence of any question or comment, we'll end the class here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavd Gita as it is Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Gaur. Thank you for joining.